More than a year into the pandemic, numbers are falling, vaccines are rising, things returning to normal.
Except the Illinois Department of Employment Security, IDES. Their doors still locked. Our Tara Molina spent more than a year uncovering failings of the department. So when we heard the state was reopening in a little over a month, she took her questions straight to the top. And Tara, this isn't the first time you've asked.
Brad and Erica, we've been asking this same question for months now, but with a full statewide reopening planned in just about a month, the answer Governor J.B. Pritzker gave us today may be surprising this time around.
If it was the other way around and it was them losing their money, they would definitely want those offices open.
Perry Turner is one of dozens of unemployment claimants we've heard from, calling for unemployment offices to unlock their doors and open up again. It's been more than a year since they first closed to the public because of the pandemic. But with no timeline set, no date on the books, and the spokesperson for IDES telling us the same thing Acting Director Kristen Richards did back in March. Why can't IDES open its offices?
We are going to open our office as soon as it's feasible for us to do so.
We took the question to the top today.
You know, the pandemic isn't over.
Asking Governor J.B. Pritzker why they aren't open and when they'll join the public offices already open.
There have been literally physical threats that have been brought upon the people who work in IDS.
Governor Pritzker says they're working directly with security advisors and state police to come up with a safe reopening plan.
And so we want to make sure that people who are working there and people who want to come into the government offices to talk to the workers there, that everything is done in as safe manner as possible.
But when it comes to specifics on those threats he mentioned, and IDES has mentioned to us for months, we don't have a lot of information because no one at the state level has shared it. We know about one incident on record at an office in Springfield more than a year ago, at the onset of the pandemic. I had to make a public records request for this. A report from Springfield Police on April 10th, 2020, detailing $1,300 in damage to an IDES building, where people, quote, broke out the glass of the front door, and, quote, both the front and back doors were spray painted. I followed up with IDES on this again, asking about any specific threats, any recent threats. Their spokesperson didn't address those in her statement to us responding to this story, but she did say that they're addressing security concerns in moving forward with their gradual reopening plan. Brad?
Yeah, of course, everyone wants safety here, Tara, but you told us about state lawmakers who've introduced a resolution to try to push IDES to open its doors immediately. It's kind of the strangest thing. Legislators asking a state agency to open up and do their jobs seems odd. Any word on that resolution from the governor today?
Right, Brad. We first talked about that resolution last week, and that's when I started bringing this to state officials, asking them to weigh in on this resolution with bipartisan support. We followed up with them today. Still no word from IDES or the governor's office on that.
Okay, we know you'll stay on it. CBS 2's Tara Molina. Thank you, Tara.